everyone, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 37 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in ECW history with match number 14 on our list, which is the Mexican Death Match between Super Crazy and Yoshihiro Tajiri from the January 21st, 2000 edition of ECW on TNN. This is a match that I have very fond memories of. I'll always look back at it nostalgically. I've talked about it at length before. TNN was my first real exposure to ECW. This match is one of the absolute best matches that was ever on the program, so I really look at it fondly. We've talked about the Super Crazy and Tajiri feud before, so December 98, Tajiri debuts at the ECW arena against Antifaz del Norte. Joey Styles puts it over huge on commentary that they are the new Ray and Psychosis, essentially. January 99 rolls around, Antifaz kind of disappears, Super Crazy comes in, and him and Tajiri would be glued at the hip over the next year. What would start as, fantastic, just technical lucha, Japanese style, whatever you want to call it, this great fusion of all of these different styles of wrestling is what they would bring to the table, and they would have a fantastic series. By the end of 99, though, we've seen it a lot, right? Little Guido was mixed in with them. We talked about this in the three-way dance video that they had much earlier in our countdown, where they'd have all of these clean matches, but it sort of got to the point where we had seen it all. Although always great, time and time again, you're seeing the same guys wrestling each other. So at the start of 2000, we have Tajiri, who is involved with the network and is a menacing heel. And almost sort of out of nowhere, their feud reached a completely different level and hit a much higher gear with this Mexican Death Match, where they upped the violence tenfold. This match is so great. It's relatively compact. It's at the ECW arena. They lose their minds for it. They would replicate this style of match a couple of times throughout early 2000. They would do a Japanese death match on Hardcore TV that's also very good and well worth watching. They would do a Japanese death match on TNN as well that wasn't as good. Very memorable finish to it, but the match itself, it had some overbooking and was short and not, nearly on the level as to this masterpiece. That's for darn sure. So this match, basically, as it's about to start, we get a commercial break, and really cool, they come back from the break with Tajiri hitting the baseball slide drop kick, while Super Crazy is in a tree of woe with a chair over space. Tajiri then repeats that with 3 chairs stacked in front of Crazy's face, and it busts Super Crazy open. This is the first time that we'd seen blood from Super Crazy, so very, shocking to see this, and that's basically how the match opened up. So really cool to kind of throw you right into the heat of things. Tajiri is a madman in this match, and all sorts of stuff that, really doesn't kind of hold up in 2021. He's, spitting at audience members in the crowd. He's spitting at the referee. He's spitting at Super Crazy. It is all disgusting and vile and grisly and fantastic. But again, nowadays we don't really see wrestlers spitting at fans. That stuff is kind of frowned upon, isn't it? We get just madness in this match. Tajiri hits a big double stomp off the top onto a table that doesn't break. It was brutal. He repeats that, and it thankfully, for Super Crazy's midsection sake, breaks on the second time. He hits, his buzzsaw kicks to the head, and just a fantastic visual. That's the thumbnail for this video that, has been a viral GIF online for years. Tajiri mocking, Super Crazy on his knees, right? As Super Crazy is kind of, left wheeling from the kicks with the blood coming down. Just awesome character stuff from Tajiri. Tajiri is, in my opinion, one of the most physically charismatic wrestlers of all time. And what I mean by that is he doesn't speak English. So, he can't convey through promos or talking or anything like that the way that, English-speaking wrestlers were. But he's somehow able to connect to the crowd just so much, and not just through his moves, which are cool, right? He's, a fantastic worker, but just through his mannerisms and everything he does through his body. There's a lot of wrestlers that are physically charismatic like that. I think of, William Regal is another one. But Tajiri is ultimately one of the best of all time. And that language barrier has a lot to do with it. The way the crowd took to him just through his mannerisms, and that's perfectly on display with, that scene in this match here. Super crazy, you know, doesn't take too kindly to that though, and he ramps up his aggression. I think he gets like a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker as a counter to go on the offense. He hits a big acai moonsault from the top into the floor. He takes Crazy through, or pardon me, takes Tajiri through the crowd, and we get a big crowd brawl, and he hits a moonsault off the bleachers through a table. That was wild. Back in the ring, he splits Tajiri open with his 10 punches that the crowd, you know, chants along with in Spanish doing the countdown for. I love that, you know, Tajiri bladed just off the punches. I thought it, you know, it really underscored the hatred that these two have, and it led to the crowd chanting "Uno Mas," right, one more time, which again I thought was kind of cool and clever. You know, the ECW arena crowd is known for their wacky chants, and that was a really good one. Crazy hits like a tricked out springboard spinning heel kick well Tajiri's crotched on the top rope. That just the level of difficulty for something like that is unbelievable, and he pulls it off without a hitch, you know, despite the blood loss and everything like that. Tajiri hits an acai moonsault into the crowd. He uses a wrench in the mouth of Crazy and tries to, you know, pull out his teeth. The whole thing is just nuts. And we get a really nice finish where they have a table kind of bridged in the corner, and Crazy goes for a powerbomb. The sit-up powerbomb was Crazy's finisher, which is kind of weird because, you know, this high flyer, you'd think of something spectacular off the top. And yes, he would do the moonsault too, but he would generally finish his matches with that sit-out powerbomb, sometimes with the twist thrown in. So he goes for the powerbomb on Tajiri through the table, and Tajiri hits him with the mist, right? So the mist is something that, you know, Tajiri had taken over in his heel persona, something that Super Crazy had fallen victim to many times. Tajiri kind of goes for a diving Rana off the table, but Crazy, despite being completely blinded, is able to catch him, turn it around, and there was another table on the other side. He powerbombs Tajiri through that, and it's enough to get the 3. This match really came out of nowhere at the time. We weren't used to this kind of grisly, violent style of match from these two. That's perfectly on display from the crowd's reactions for it as well. You could tell that they're really taken aback by it, and they absolutely lose their minds. It's a really great late era ECW arena hot crowd that just elevates this match so much more than it would have been otherwise. This is an all-time performance from both guys. Like I said, it's a match that I think we all look back on fondly. And, you know, we talked about it in the three-way dance video with Guido. From here on out, you know, their feud would take a much different toll now that this violence had been added to it. You can check out this match, of course, on the WWE Network. It could be on Peacock, but I'm sure you can track it down online if you look hard enough. You can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you don't miss a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50. And please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50. Top 50.